Hello there. I'm going to talk about humanizing KataGo. KataGo has a massive brain. He gives quite a bit of data, not all of it that he knows, but enough data that you can put analyses on top of that and come up and kind of translate his brain into human terms, right? And this is my first kind of stab at it, to make KataGo a little more humane, sort of like he's a teacher sitting across from you while you're playing out your game. So this is how it works. You play a move, KataGo makes a comment about it, judges your move, and then he offers suggestions for better ideas, right? So he's saying, in this, it's a respectable move, so you don't really have to worry about studying too deeply here. You're doing okay. But he's also telling you, well, if you want to know, you could be focused up here, right? He's also saying, I see that you wanted to do something with this group here. There's another way of doing it over here that might be a little bit better, right? So you have a question for KataGo. How can I tend to this group? And he's like, well, here's a way to tend to that group. And you have a question for KataGo. What are some other ideas that I could have been thinking about? He's like, well, you could have been doing approach moves or even this attached move. So he's kind of correcting your move, but he's also giving you new suggestions and telling you where the focus of the board might be, right? You don't get that from blue moves, you know? You're getting this more learning opportunities per move because you can look at each one of these superior moves. Every one of them is better than what you came up with, right? You get more learning opportunities. It's level appropriate, so maybe you could understand this move, why this move might be a little bit better, but maybe not this one, right? So you get stronger. You can get stronger in level appropriate ways, little by little, and you don't have to mess with understanding everything at once. Now, blue moves, they're just going to give you one blue move, and it's not going to help you. Do you see how this is a little bit more interesting because you're interacting with KataGo and you're asking him what he thinks of your move? Like, for example, he's like, I think that's pretty boring and lame. And the idea of getting suggestions for superior moves being filtered by getting better seems to be much more fun and instructive to me than messing around with blue moves all the time. When it's really bad, he's like, let's forget that one. This one was worse than passing, according to him. That's why he's like, let's not even talk about it. Another feature of this interface is that he tracks vital points. Now, he could track a lot of things, but I just put vital points in there for now because I think they're very useful. And they're also pretty fun because now the board is a puzzle. Like, which one of these orange places is a vital point, right? You know, if you were given the blue move, you would already have the answer to this Sumego, and you wouldn't be able to study it or get anything out of it. But this is saying, hey, you missed a vital point. Which one do you think it is? Which one is it? And that makes it more engaging, right? And also he's panicking. The other thing is you and your opponent might have missed the vital point, but KataGo sees it, and it gives you an opportunity to strengthen yourself by noticing where these vital points are and feeling where they are, right? And so I think that's kind of cool. Anyway, that's it. This is the interface. You know, you can tell when your move is really sucky. You can ask questions about what you could play locally better. And you can study in level appropriate ways. And you can explore interactively. And you get more learning opportunities per position. You don't get that with blue moves. You get the answer. That's all you get. And I think something like this is a little bit better. This is my first stab at it. It could be less dry and a little more entertaining. But I think presenting better moves is better moves in general rather than the best move is much better than just blue moves all the time, win rates and stuff, you know? Anyway, thanks a lot for watching my video. You have a good day.